Now, the Interior Minister, Ambrose Derry, says the police and military are on standby to aid those who will be affected. Acres of farmland around the basin of the White Volta at the Pualugu region are flooded following the spillage of excess water from the dam in Burkina Faso. And it's those affected by this flooding that the police are promised to help. Some farmers are currently counting their losses as others rush to try and salvage some of their produce before the farms are completely submerged. Interior Minister Ambrose Derry says he believes the presence of the security will be of great help.
Well, I have sent the Director General of National Disaster Organization, NADMO, to the north, Mr. Ajiman, and he is kept in touch with me over the weekend. The report he gave me was that it was raining so much in the north, days on end, and that the rivers in the north by themselves have overflown their banks. And we expected that Bagre was going to start spilling about 2 days ago. We have started, and we are monitoring the situation. The important thing is that we are advising all residents who are along the banks of rivers to be aware that this is going to come on and to keep away from the banks. And we hope that they also be conscious of the fact that in August, September, we have long rains, and we're hoping that damage will not be much. But we're monitoring the situation. I've been in touch with the military and the police, and I've told them to stand by. Should there be the need, we've got a message that one of the bridges between Tumu and Wa has collapsed. We are trying to validate that. I believe when we do so, I've already spoken to the military as to whether the engineers will be necessary. But certainly we'll liaise with the regional minister up there, who is the chairman of the Security Council. And so we are doing our best to make sure that we contain whatever disaster might come along. But I need to ask all of us at this time to cooperate. We want the media people to do report incidents that happen anywhere, and we believe that once we are together, God will bless our effort.
But are we going to sit down for the Burkinabe authorities to continue harming our country this way? Can't we solve the problem?
Well, it's not a matter. They do tell us when their dam is bursting. Well, you do spill water when you think that the amount of water that is in the dam is too much for the dam wall to hold. If you don't spill the water, your dam wall will break. And if it does, we are probably going to get higher volumes of water rushing down. What we need to do is to find out how we are going to harness the water as it comes down.
How are we going to harness that?
First of all, we've had the Bui Dam has come in to serve as a break. And I believe that there are various ways that we can deal with it. I know that under President Kufuor there were other plans to have minor hydro or dams along the way. Those are things that we need to discuss, but that's the thing that we need to discuss with the Ministry of Agric and the Irrigation Development Authority. But certainly, we cannot allow a situation where we have too much water at a certain time and too little water at the next. And that's one of the reasons why you have the President talking about one village, one dam. And if we have this one village, one dam, built, the various villages along the streams will trap this water, and there will be smaller packets that will reduce the rush of water down the line. So again, one village, one dam is something that's going to come to help us deal with it. And so the President is being holistic in his approach to the whole.
Now, why don't we speak to JoyNews correspondent Albert Sori? He has been speaking to some of the farmers affected by this. He joins us on the phone with some details. Albert, thanks for your time. What exactly are the farmers telling us about the pending spillages? Can you hear me, Albert? We want to know what the farmers have been telling you about these pending spillages.
Yes, Kojo, the situation at Pualugu has been very serious. I actually stayed there for several hours just monitoring the rate at which the water was increasing since I got there. And for about 3 hours, the rate at which the water was, filling up the lake was very fast. In fact, in some of the areas, the farms which I visited less than 2 weeks ago to speak to these same farmers are already submerged, and the access roads that I used when I was going to these farms were no longer accessible. So we spent so much time there just trying to see, where we could get access to at least talk to a farmer on his farm until one farmer came around and managed to get us through to his farm. And in his case, he was trying to salvage the little of his maize that is ripe at the moment, so that by the time his farm gets submerged, he would have been able to get something out of it. It is the same for most of the farmers. In fact, some of them have their farms completely submerged, and as they are trying to harvest what is there, some of them are having to use canoes to be able to get across to the farms. So that is how serious the situation is. And they are telling me that, this is even when portions of the lake is not completely full. So if the spillage continues for the next 24 hours, we could have more serious, implications for the farmers around the Kwalugu area.
Now, Albert, tell us about the reality of the situation for these farmers. I mean, did they have any prior warning that this was going to happen? Are they farming in areas that they have been asked not to farm in? Or is this danger totally out of the blue?
We've asked them this question several times, and what they keep saying is that, look, the soils around the White Volta Basin are very fertile, and they don't have any other places to farm besides these places. If they decide today that they want to move upland to farm, they don't have lands that belong to them upland. And even when they manage to get these lands, they are not as fertile as the lands around the basin are. So they will have to spend more money getting fertilizers and all that. So for them, over the years, all they have been appealing with the government to do is to try and negotiate with the Burkinabe authorities so that they don't always wait till the dam is completely full before they start spilling it. What they want is that if it is getting to the maximum level of the dam, then the Burkinabe authority can spill it, so that it doesn't get to the maximum. But waiting for it to be completely full before they start spilling is what usually causes this problem. But then all their pleas, haven't yielded any result. So every year they just go there and, do what they can. Some start very early so that they can harvest their produce before situations like this come. But for those who, for those who usually start late, it means that they cannot get anything at all out of what they have cultivated.
Right. So what the farmers are telling you is that they are aware of the risk, but they feel that they have no option and would rather wish that the Burkinabe authorities.
They think that if the Ghana government was maybe proactive enough, they could have been able to talk to the Burkinabe authorities to have a middle ground. Some have even suggested that government can construct a small dam in the area so that anytime this happens, then the water that eventually destroys their farms will go into that dam so that in the dry season they can use it.
What has government said?
Now, a lot of them will eventually count serious losses.
What has government said about these pleas from the farmers?
Where I went, they said that a few NADMO officials have come there, but the only thing they came there to do was to monitor what was happening. I didn't meet them at the time I was there, but this is what the farmers said, that they only came to monitor what was going on, but nobody has spoken to them or suggested any way that they can get help.
Right, thanks for that. Albert Sore, of course, in Kwalugu, giving us some insights into what the farmers are facing with the spillage of the Volta.